Hello and welcome back to B&B War Stories. I'm your host, Nick Laidlaw. Today we're going to hear about the experience of a Russian soldier fighting in the northern part of the eastern front of Ukraine. Before the war, I had a friend inside of Russia, a foreign national studying at university. He is documenting stories inside of Russia on my behalf. His work has been essential to documenting both sides of this war. For his safety, he will remain anonymous. This interview was documented in December of 2022 by my friend in Russia on my behalf. This interview comes from a soldier named Seryoga. He says, "I was stationed in Kharkiv. I returned not so long ago. I got very sick and got evacuated. In the trenches, you can catch anything. Pneumonia, bronchitis, stomach problems, rats. It's hell. As for how it was, every day is artillery, bombs, explosions here and there. They don't stop at all for a radius of 2 to 3 kilometers around your position. We frontliners, we really had it the worst. We were closer to the front, planting mines, digging in trenches, fighting in forested areas, in direct combat with Ukrainian forces almost every single day. On my last day in the front, we only lost 4 guys in contact with the enemy out of 200. Not bad at all, and still, we got lucky. Our neighboring unit got it worse with artillery and lost a lot more guys. They lost about 15. From one of our positions, a convoy of armored vehicles was attacked and sustained heavy casualties. Less than 10 out of a full battalion made it out. But what about disasters like that? No one speaks about them at home. The media keeps quiet about it. Their sacrifices go anonymously. Anyway, artillery, bombs, mortars every day, all day. There were some days we saw and heard drones flying over us to try to provoke us to leaving the position or fire at them to give up our location. One time, we were in a building, a school or something. I don't know exactly what it was. And they were firing on us from afar, and then suddenly they were right on top of us. They wanted to provoke us into pushing out of the building so they could take our position instead. We fought them for hours and hours. No one could get the upper hand. Us defending, them attacking. It got into a stalemate, and then they left. Neither side had any tanks, no air support, just direct contact between us and them until someone had to run out of men or ammo. As far as for civilians in the area, some towns were very welcoming to us. No problems with dissidents or pro-Ukrainians. As far as tanks, BMPs and the such, these are problematic for us and them. Being in a tank or an armored column is almost always a death mark. One time, from a column of almost 15 vehicles, we only managed to pull out only 2 Ural trucks. One was barely rolling, and the other was partly peppered by shrapnel. It's fucked. All of it. If it's not the Ukrainians that are the problem, it's our own health. Many guys got sick from pneumonia. Sickness takes just as many soldiers out of the front line as artillery or drones. My experience on the front wasn't f***ing good, but it's necessary. We do our job. Of course, I was afraid. Many are afraid. The possibility of not coming back is always lingering. The thought of not seeing the next day is present with every moment of every day at the front. But what can you do? We just carry on. Dig trenches, plant mines, stay on sentry duty, do our jobs. The ones pushing the line right now are the more serious guys. The PMCs like Wagner. They get better stuff. I even wanted to join them. 3 times I wrote soliciting to be reassigned with them, but nothing came of it. I wanted to join them because they get better stuff. Actual military gear, military support, armor, and they do have a set rotation calendar, unlike us. I was in Ukraine for 4 months straight without knowing when I would come back. The PMCs, however, they do know when they'll come back. Over there, we just did what we were told. Dig in, stay, we rested from time to time, ate, slept, and drank alcohol constantly to try to change the mood periodically. The war has moved more to the long-range contact. They bomb us with rockets, and I was amazed by the number of rockets they threw at us. Some of our guys were planting mines on a road that was near another town, but we didn't know that there were Ukrainians there, and they notified their artillery. And the next day, the entire road was destroyed by the combined mines that exploded because of the artillery. All day, artillery, artillery, rockets, and more artillery, from sunrise to night. Sometimes you could be sleeping at 3 a.m. and then boom, artillery is landing. We could just hide and call in a counter salvo. I was just glad that we had them on range. They gave us shit, and we gave it back. We bomb each other constantly. Now, this same soldier had a Russian updated field manual on basically what to do and what not to do at the front line. And this is what the field manual said about artillery. Artillery is not as terrible as they say about it. Calculations show that only 160 shells of 122 millimeter caliber, or 8 to 10 per soldier, are required to defeat a platoon in open areas. But to defeat 75% of the targets in an equipped platoon stronghold, 1,250 high-explosive fragmentation shells are required. In terms, 60 shells per fighter. The conclusion is simple. An artillery strike is not as terrible as the reaction of untrained servicemen to it. Even a primitive, prone firing trench or a shell crater reduces the risk of being killed or injured by 10 times. A steel helmet and body armor protect a person's vital organs from most fragments. The armor of armored personnel carriers, infantry fighting vehicles, and fragments of shells and mines cannot penetrate. Furthermore, it takes a whole 5 minutes for a howitzer battery to fire 160 shells at an identified target, and we have enough time to take cover from artillery fire or leave the affected area. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was just one single story. I'm just trying to get content out every week, and it's really easy for me to just put one story together for you guys and edit it real quick. So if you like just these shorter videos, please let me know in the comments. I will be doing a lot more longer form stuff in the future, but as far as these single short videos, expect more of these. Make sure to like and subscribe, share, tell your friends about the page. I'd really love to do this full time, and growing the YouTube channel is really the first step towards doing that. As I always say here at B&B War Stories, every soldier has a story, and every story deserves to be told. Thanks for watching.